Alright, everyone, I wish you guys all a happy new year. And today we're going to look at NPA, which is a SPAC poised to merge with AST, aka Space Phone. Now, if you know anything about this company, you know that they are probably the most direct competitor that Elon Musk's Starlink has. However, there's a few key differences between these two companies in terms of basic philosophy that lean for me to more invest in this company's ideology rather than Elon's. Now, just to be clear, I do hold a position in this company. I have 20,000 warrants at $2.35 a warrant. And if you do check the warrant price as of today, it is $3.38. So, yes, I am green on the position. However, I still do feel that there's quite a large upside, especially with this company. I would consider it more of a lotto play, and that's just due to the fact of the way that this business is structured, their valuations, as well as what they have to offer in the coming years compared to most other SPAC mergers in general. So, diving in here, this is when, around this date, is when I actually invested in them, when this Bloomberg article came out. This shows exactly what the ticker symbol is going to be, ASTS. They've raised 462 million, at $10 per share in the trust. Simple. 16% is going to SPAC shares. They have, or I believe, if I check here, they have 12% in pipe shares, 13% in pipe shares, and then the founders and the existing shareholders are there. So there is a lockup on this company for existing shareholders. That's for 12 months. But in general, let's look at the actual SPAC here. So in terms of chairman, CEOs, CFOs, and sponsors, we have like a wide variety of individuals. We have Alexander Coleman, who's best known for being a VC. We have Gary Smith, again with Red Bull. He was very integral to their success, especially in the late 2000s. We have James Bradley, who again I'm not very familiar with him. However, with the other two on the team, he seems like he's fairly experienced as well. And then UBS O'Connor, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think that makes much of a difference, but there you go. That's their management. It's nothing crazy, but since the DA has already come out, the merger is there. We don't have a date as of yet. However, in general, everything seems to be solidified. So, in terms of management, that's not really the main worry at this point. So, just to clarify here, it's currently trading at $12.52. I bought the warrants when NPA was trading around $10.60 here, so I actually caught the jump pretty well. But let's see, let's go back to this presentation now. So if you look at the transaction here, they have $230 million in pipe, 12-month lockup, as I said earlier. Stock options will have a 2-year lockup. So in general, it's not looking to be a pump and dump. People are going to have to hold at least until they launch their first couple of satellites, which is really going to be the key tell to whether this company is going to be successful or not. Because in general, the way that this company operates and what separates this from Elon Musk's space exploration endeavors is that with this company, what they're doing is that they believe that they can launch these low orbit satellites into space and have consumers' phones directly connect to those satellites to provide broadband service. Now, that sounds like a dream, honestly, to me, because if you think about it, if you're on the ocean, if you're in a jungle, you're not getting service with normal tower to cell phone service. However, with this provides a whole new array of benefits that people can realize. So, whenever you have bad service, you could just turn AST's satellite service on, and boom, you have service in this remote, desolate area that before would have no connectivity. Now, Elon is targeting this, but in a completely different aspect. With Elon's company, what he's doing is he has the same general idea of launching satellites into space with the low orbits, not to collide with anything. That's fine. But the key difference is with Elon, he's targeting home broadband and home internet connections. And the way he's doing that is he requires a proprietary um, hardware to be installed on the houses. So this hardware has, precious metals in it, whatever, in order to have that connectivity with the satellite. If what AST, aka Space Mobile, is saying is possible, and their satellites can provide broadband data at a reasonable speed to consumers' phones directly, that completely changes the game compared to Elon Musk. Because now, instead of targeting the home, which is, traditionally we have like Fios, we have all these other companies, and obviously Elon is not targeting, the US or Canada or any first world country as a general market. He's looking to expand into, some parts of Asia, Africa, places where internet is just so much harder to access through like land connections. But in this case, if it's direct to phone with no additional hardware required, that completely changes your market and that completely changes the valuation of the company, in my opinion. However, again, the possibility of this hardware being a reality and this being able to be successful financially is difficult. It's very difficult. And that's why I would say this is a lotto play, not a clear cut investment opportunity. Now, just taking a look here, we have all the technology leaders. I mean, you can read through this yourself. This is just the investor presentation. I don't need to really talk about this. So this kind of starts to explain what Space Mobile is going to be doing. So instead of targeting the consumers as a one service broadband product, what they are doing is they're going to be looking at different service carriers such as Vodafone, AT&T, T-Mobile, etc. And they're going to be offering their products to those companies, and then in turn, those companies will charge us, the consumers, a little bit of a premium to use this service. So say your phone plan is $20 a month. Now you want to add the, let's say, the Space Mobile product to your phone. Maybe they charge you an extra 5, 10, $15 a month based off how much you use it, and then obviously Space Mobile bills the company as well. So that's how this company is going to make money, and that's how the bottom line is going to be affected to the direct consumer. So obviously they do solve a big problem that you can see right away just learning about the company. Um, Getting service is always a hassle, especially in desolate areas or even just rural areas like the Midwest, the breadbasket, even in the US. So being able to do this, being able to launch satellites, and being able to have connectivity around the globe, it's key. It really is. And they claim that they have 750 plus patents that, with IP will allow them to basically block any other competition from entering. However, there are a few companies that do have this same kind of ideology. However, they aren't public yet, and this is the one that is. And in general, if you believe in this space, I believe that this is a sound investment in that case. But again, it's a lotto pick, so you never know. This is true. Satellite launch costs have fallen 90%, but again, that is due to Elon Musk's crazy endeavors with SpaceX and whatever he's been doing with that. And obviously, it's not easy to launch a satellite. And in terms of Space Mobile, um, their main issue is going to definitely be launching their satellites. It's gonna cost them hundreds of million. It's gonna cost them like $100 million to launch one satellite, and even if that goes in the air, they're they've already they've already launched two satellites as of now. Um, One of them did not have any hardware on it. It was just a test launch. The second one did have some hardware on it, but not enough, not like a full scale model of the actual production satellites. And now their coming launch is one where it's going to be a full test run, and I believe they are targeting Africa for this test run. And they do have sound investments from, let's see here, from Vodafone as well as, where did they put it? There you go. So Vodafone and Rakuten. So both of these companies have invested quite heavily, over $100 million each, in this company. So that is also promising. It's good to see some big broadband players supporting this company because traditional U.S. broadband companies like T-Mobile, AT&T, they're starting to get threatened by this kind of ideology, and they have tried to block this company already from launching. Even NASA has implied that all these low orbit satellites can cause collisions and space debris and everything. So again, this is a lotto play. This is not a true investment. This is something where if you believe in the idea, if you can believe in their execution, you will make 50, 100 times your money. Otherwise, maybe not. But again, in terms of lotto plays, I would choose this company over most EV companies, analogous to Neo and VTIQ, right? Nikola, um, Lee, Lee Auto, and all these companies are lotto plays. They don't have real basis in terms of product. It neither does this company, but again, I think this idea is a lot more unique and a lot more promising than even the great Elons. So that just puts it into perspective. Now, all of this, see, they're mentioning the hardware here, AST, any standard mobile phone. That is the biggest factor on if I would invest or not. If this is possible, if any standard phone can connect to their servers, or not their servers, but their satellites, that's a game changer. That completely destroys, as you can see, the market size. It's completely different. And I don't know why they put revenue here in terms of market size and they don't put it here. That's something. All these investor presentations are biased. You have to look at it with a grain of salt. So this is actually the other company that is comparable to AST. User terminal cost, yeah, whatever. This doesn't mean much. AST does not have a real product yet, to be honest, so you cannot compare them. So the technology, right? It's it's a 5G play with satellites, low orbit satellites connecting direct to the phone. That's what it is. Now I can't get into the specifics of the actual, mechanics behind it, the physics and everything. I can't do that, but in general, that's what you would need to know to invest in this company. So in terms of their market plan, phase 1, again, they want to cover the southern areas where the broadband is least accessible. This is just to grab more of a market share, I believe, because if you're marketing to the North Americas, if you're marketing to China, if you're marketing to Europe, most people already have decent enough service in these areas to where I wouldn't think that they want to pay that much of a premium for extra service unless they are traveling again to these areas here, to Hawaii over here, Alaska up here. Again, it's very circumstantial. But again, it's a lotto play. But their ideas are good. And obviously, they want to expand to full global coverage. 58 satellites for phase 4. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be hard. Unless the satellite cost can decline another 90%, that is going to be very difficult for them. It's going to take 5-10 years to scale up to that rate for sure. Even phase 1, 20 satellites is very, very difficult. That's why they're raising this money. That's why they're going through SPAC. I think they see an opportunity here to capitalize on the intellectual property that they've obtained. And before any real regulation is instated in space, they want to capitalize, raise their money, and start sending out satellites just to test their thesis. I think that's what's going on here. And their test launches were successful, but you won't know exactly what's going to happen until they start billing consumers. So, looking here, they have their financial projections or subscribers. That's fine. Um, that's not something you really need to look at again, to be honest, because empirically any person can be the judge and be like, look, if this is real, this stock is going to go up, right? That's just empirically, that's just how it's going to be. It's all about, is this technological model, feasible today? It could be feasible in 10, 20 years, but is it feasible today? And if it is, and if the regulation doesn't oppose it, both from broadband as well as from NASA, then you have a winner here. I think you have a real jackpot. So their project costs. See, this is the expensive stuff. Now, the launch and test Blue Walker 3 satellite. That was the test satellite I was telling you before, the one with the actual hardware on it. 2022, they want to launch 20 Phase 1 satellites, and then they need their market approvals, and then they're going to roll from there. But again, 20 satellites by 2022, they need to be having substantial investments or revenues. And I think that's part of the reason that the actual SPAC holding percentage of this company is only 16%. I think that they're gonna have to give up more equity in the company to raise more funds away from the SPAC. I think they're paying that 16% and transferring them into SPAC shares in order to be able to have enough money to prove their concept with Blue Walker 3, right? That's a proof of concept. And then after that, they can go to VCs and various other broadbands and raise money at a higher valuation, giving up more equity. I believe they're going to give up another 16, 17% of equity for sure in this company. They're going to need to. They're going to need their money in order. This is expensive. This is really expensive just for a satellite. So, and this is what they're looking at phase one project costs. It's gonna be a lot more than this for sure. They're saying that whatever they're spending is equal to what they've raised already. No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna need to raise a lot more money to launch these satellites, and I think they're gonna face a lot of pushback from Regulus regulators. So their pro forma valuation, EBITDA 1.4x. Again, here you can look at their ownership. Um, it's all pretty simple. You could just look at this, figure it out for yourself. Um, Valuation's fine. It's not the best. It's not the worst. Again, they don't have a product. I can't really say anything. Valuation benchmarking. Yeah, there's a reason for this. There's a reason why they're valued at this, and other companies are valued up here. Even Hylon, interesting one here. T-Mobile, but again, these are proven companies with revenues. You're not, of course, you're going to be valued less. Same kind of thing, intrinsic, extrinsic value, and then yeah. So that's going to be my quick analysis on NPA or AST now, as we're going to call it. In general, I think it's a pretty decent investment. Obviously, I put in quite a bit of money into it, around $40,000. Now, would I recommend you buy at the current price levels? I'm not so sure. With the recent dip that actually happened today, it looks like a pretty promising opportunity to, buy the dip, as they say. However, in general, I would view this as a lottery play. I would view this as something as if it does hit, if the concept works, it will blow away anything else in the space. But you do have a lot of risks. You have the financial risks of the satellites. Even if one launch goes wrong, this company is going to go in the hole. You saw, even if the numbers that they have are true, where they raised $551 million, they're spending $551 million for phase one. If one satellite goes kabloom, that's 20% of their budget gone. So that's why I believe they're saving some equity in this valuation in order to raise money after they have their test satellite. That's going to be key. And now, after that, if they can prove their concept, I think it's a buy. But at these price levels and at this current point in time, this is a lottery play. You've probably seen a lot of people talk about it, but in general, this is a lottery play. This is something you throw $1,000, $2,000 in, and you look, you see what happens. Because if it hits, it'll hit for 10x, 5x at least. If it doesn't hit, oh well, you lose $2.65, right? Because again, it's a SPAC. It's backed by $10 of cash until the merger. So at least up until the merger, we don't know exactly when that's going to be. At least up until the merger, I would buy and hold. After that, again, do you believe in the execution? Do you believe in the lack of regulation? And do you believe in the actual concept? If so, this is a buy for you, as it was a buy for me. If not, then there's many more opportunities to come, and we will be covering them on this channel. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys stay tuned for more videos. And please leave me some feedback, as this is my first video and it was very impromptu. However, if there's a structure you guys would like me to have in terms of my videos, that would be greatly appreciated if you would let me know. If there's a certain ticker you'd like me to cover or certain ideologies, I do trade options quite heavily. I am heavily invested in SPACs as well, and I do like to believe I have fairly decent market knowledge in general. So if you good guys like to subscribe, like, that'd be beautiful. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye bye.